Hi guys, Dr. Coucher here. I'm going to be lecturing to you leadership theories. I have some videos that I posted on your student learning outcomes. I tried multiple times to get these videos to play within a recording so that you guys didn't have to go off somewhere separate to do so. But I would really like for you to watch them. First of all, one's a little bit funny on leadership and teamwork. One of them is very inspirational, and we'll talk a little bit about it, even though we're not showing it in this lecture recording. And then one of them, yes, is still a little bit funny, but it talks about followership. So I really would like for you to try to take the time to watch those. It'll take 10 minutes of your time to watch all three of them. So, what do you feel like in life? Do you feel like you're a leader? Do you feel like you're a follower? Either one of them are leadership positions. A leader is someone who is inspirational while managers plan and organize. And sometimes you'll find that these terms manager and leader are interchangeable, but a leader is anyone within the team. The manager is somebody who does the planning, who does the organizing, and makes sure that everything is followed through. And we're going to do management theories next week, but I wanted to kind of talk to you about that. We're all different. Some of us do feel like we're really good leaders, and others of us feel like that we're just a great follower. You'll hear me sometimes. I'll say, I don't know. I'm just a peon. I'm just here. Um, I do as I'm told, and I try to be a great follower, and I try to be a great leader, and that's how we should all really see our life as nurses in the professional role, being able to do both of them interchangeably. Um, we'll be discussing theories throughout this, characteristics and behaviors that make you, the new RN, an effective leader as well as an effective follower. Leadership is not management. I know I just said that. Leadership is a broader concept. It defines who you are in the clinical setting. The study of leadership is to learn how to work well with other people, collaborate with teamwork. It's very essential for great leaders and followers. And that comes from your textbook. Murray identifies nursing as the largest number of professionals within the healthcare community. We are closest to the patient, which gives us a unique advantage point. It's like climbing up on a mountaintop and being able to see. If you've ever been to Petty G Mountain, you know they have lookout points and you can see everything down in the valley. It's kind of what we are as nurses with our patients. We've got that great advantage point. The Institute of Medicine, the IOM, report on the future of nursing, leading change and advancing health, and this was in 2011. Their statement is that strong nursing leadership is critical to addressing the demands of our increasingly complex healthcare system. Further, it stated the nursing profession must produce leaders throughout the healthcare system, from the bedside to the boardroom, who can serve as full partners with other health professionals and be accountable for their own contributions to delivering high quality care while working collaboratively with leaders from other health professions. So, what defines competency in leading? Um, the ability to diagnose, understand the situation you, the nurse, want to exert influence over. Adapt. We all need to be adaptable. Nursing is about flexibility, being able to give a little. Adapt also by bridging the gap between the current problem and situation to what you ultimately want the outcome to be. Communicate. Effective communication is key to success for any relationship, professional or personal. If you do not convey your plans, then how in the world will others know what to do? This is all about team leadership. It's the vision. It's an aspect that inspires others to follow a leader. Effective leaders are required in today's workplace. We all need to be that. Successful nurse leaders are those who engage others. If I stood up here or sat here right now, because I'm sitting here and recording, I wanted to give y'all a face this time. If if I sat here presenting this lecture in a monotone, blah 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 blah, you would not be engaged with it. And it is hard to be engaged when we're doing things electronically. This is why I've given y'all a face to this, and I want y'all to not only hear but be able to see when I'm having inflections, when I'm talking with my hands, because I do that quite often. Add personality to a lecture. It engages you. Um, so as the leader for you in the classroom, we all have a common goal, don't we? I mean, the common goal is to get you through this program so that you all can get out there, pass NCLEX, and become a great diverse group of leaders for patients and other team members in the clinical setting. Excuse me. So shared goals, that's what we kind of alluded to in the previous slide. We all have a shared goal for the class right now. Our shared goal is to make sure that you guys are as successful as you possibly can be. A leader can take these shared goals and begin, our manager really, will take the shared goals and begin delegating tasks to the staff to ensure policies are followed. But a leader's different. They'll take these shared goals and they'll influence the followers. A leader could be just the staff nurse who sees the vision of the manager, who wants to share the vision, who wants to make sure that everything is done successfully. The leader inspires confidence in others, even motivates them like a cheerleader to work together, because the followers will see that leader's vision. So leadership is that broad concept, much bigger than management. Your text is not indicating that managers do not need to be leaders, but management has a specific focus on achieving those organizational goals. However, shared goals for nursing is a whole different story where leadership is concerned, because it focuses on providing that excellent care, reducing infection rates, designing cost-saving procedures, challenging ethics of a new policy. I do have a great example of a shared nursing goal. I was in the middle of my DNP program and thought I had the perfect project lined out. I did the research, I wrote the quality improvement piece for it, presented it to the unit supervisor, received the okay for the college, and then all of a sudden the unit supervisor stated, "Oh, wait, we're already wanting to implement this." They had taken my quality improvement project that I worked hard on for over 100 hours and implemented it. I was pretty devastated. So I called another unit supervisor who said, "I don't know of anything offhand that we need done." "Oh, wait. We need a preceptor development program. We want our preceptors to begin mentoring our new nurses more efficiently. They were trying to reduce turnover." From there, the vision of the administration leaders had become my vision, and my completed project was a computerized program for preceptor development. And it was to help improve nurse retention. It's still being used on a unit as far as I know today. Now, I'm also on a committee here at the school that hopes to use some of my project to better prepare nurses on the floor to mentor our students. So the shared vision became the shared goal of many. So you can see, even as a leader on the unit, if you're a staff nurse and you see something, maybe your manager has said, we need something to make this better. It may click in your head that this is something that I can do. And since it's something that I can do, let me see, I'm going to take this shared goal or vision, and I'm going to make it my own goal to improve the unit quality. And so you then become a leader, and that's what we're looking for in nursing today. We're looking for not students, but graduates who are going to get in there and do these things and make changes for the better. I mean, I think y'all are all LPNs. Y'all are in the healthcare setting. I think you all know that we need some changes that are vital for our patients. Peters in 1987, leaders empower others and lead others willingly in simplistic terms. Leadership usually involves one individual trying to change the behavior of others. Furthermore, leaders challenge the current or prevailing wisdom, and by doing so create new meaning for members of an organization. So they inspire. They really want to share that vision. They help others to cope with the changes that were necessary. Change is hard, and we're going to talk about change in another lecture, but change is definitely very, very hard. A leader is someone, like I said, who they motivate you, they move you. On the next slide, I'm going to provide you with a chart that you'll be seeing in this lecture and in management theories lecture, because it compares the two. I want y'all to understand the difference between the leaders and the managers. So the leaders, they inspire employees. They have a vision that they want them to see that. Managers, they just direct the work of employees and devise systems to monitor employees' progress toward achieving preset goals. Leaders help employees cope with change because, like I said, change is hard. No one likes to change very much. I mean, I probably like it more than others because I'm always wanting to change things up, even in my home. It excites me. Managers determine how to achieve present goals and be responsible for achieving them. Leaders make people want to achieve high goals and objectives. Managers, they tell employees to accomplish a particular task or objective. So they're just telling you what to do. Leaders articulate a direction or vision of what the future might look like. Managers handle activities through planning and budgeting. The leader develops strategies for producing changes needed to move in a new direction. The manager achieved their goals by organizing and staffing. Leaders recruit and keep employees who understand and share their visions. Managers create an organizational structure and sets of jobs for accomplishing the organization's strategies. So there's kind of a big difference between the two. Now we're going to look at some leadership theories. We've got trait theory, behavioral, task versus relationship, motivation, emotional intelligence. And let me just tell you, if you plan on going on with your nursing degree and getting you a BSN and a master's or even a DNP, you're going to see emotional intelligence quite often. That's a big one right now. Now you have situational, and transformational is also a big one. Transformational and emotional intelligence are two that you see quite often right now. It's just the trending ones. We have moral leadership and caring leadership. These are the 9 theories that are listed here, and these come right out of your text. We're going to break each one down in the upcoming slides. Search yourself when we're talking about it. Ask pertinent questions, because once you know your style, which leadership style just really speaks to you, then you can hone in on your leadership skills and become an even more effective leader. All right, so trait theories. These are those, oh my, they're a natural born leader. Some people are just natural at leading. I don't know what it is. It comes out of them. It may be that it comes more easily to them. Henry Ford said, the question who ought to be boss is like asking who ought to sing tenor in a quartet. Obviously, the man who can sing tenor. Trait theory identifies a leader as born with the personality, social, and physical characteristics that set them apart. Traits that made them distinct from non-leaders. They have management of attention. These leaders communicate a sense of goal and direction, which is attractive to the followers. Management of meaning. They define, create, and communicate meaning and purpose for their team. Management of trust. They are reliable. They are consistent. And they have management of self. They have a great sense of who they are, their self, which allows them to work with their own strengths and weaknesses. Additional traits you may find with this leader: physical vitality and stamina, intelligence and action-oriented judgment, eagerness to accept responsibility, skill in dealing with people. They have great self-confidence, assertiveness. They're also very adaptive and flexible. Behavioral theories. This theory focuses on what the leader does. Categories of behavioral leaders. You have the autocratic, the democratic, and the laissez-faire. The autocratic leader gives orders, makes decisions for the group. This type of leader does not allow for creativity from the team, nor does it motivate them. The democratic leader will share the leadership. There's plans and decisions that will be decided and made as a team. It encourages creativity and motivates the team. Decisions may take longer, though, to be made, but once it's made, everyone is in support of that decision. The last one is the lazy leader. You can just call it that. If you can't pronounce it, you can call them the lazy leader because that's what they are. They do very little planning. I would call this the procrastinating leader also. They will just put things off and put things off. They'll wait to the last minute to decide or never do it at all. The team under this leadership will feel very confused and frustrated because there is not a goal, no vision, no guidance, and no direction. And if you have a leader who is in management that is this type of leader, then likely you're going to see a lot of nurse turnover because decisions are never made, nothing is ever done, and nurses are very unhappy. The task versus relationship theory. This theory denotes that if a leader is a task-focused or relationship-focused individual, task nurse leaders fail in the interpersonal relationship area of leadership. Med administration, completing patient documentation, not concerned with communication with the team, which affects the morale and productivity. So they want to make sure that that's all that they're focused on. They just cut these little focuses. Make sure your administration is correct. Complete your patient documentation. I don't really want to communicate with you. I really don't want to talk to you. I just want you to do your job. It's kind of how they are. That's the task nurse leader. The relationship nurse leader focuses so much, though, on the interpersonal that they ignore the quality. Well, it's okay because, Susie, her baby was sick, so she ended up having to leave early. I know that she did not pass the 9 o'clock meds, but we can get it done. We'll get it caught up. It'll be. They're not paying attention to what's going on. They're not focused on making sure that the patients are taken care of and the rest of the team are taken care of if they're focused on one person at that time. They just want to make sure that everybody is happy, everybody loves them, and everything is okay. Motivation theory. Concept is to act to get whatever you want done and avoid whatever you don't want to do. The motivational leader moves others, motivates them. So this is the primary characteristic. Maslow, y'all recognize Maslow? His motivation theory is based upon categories of need, which we remember. Physiological, safety, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization must be met before others are activated. Your text does provide a great example of how a motivational leader takes the team to the next level. The Hawthorne studies began in the 1920s. During these studies, experiments were conducted to increase light and later improving other working conditions because they wanted to increase the productivity of the workers in the Hawthorne, Illinois electrical plant. The hypothesis was proven to be significant. After the experiment, though, all the improvements were taken away, but the workers continued to show increased productivity. Researchers then concluded the explanation was found not in the conditions of the experiments, but in the attention given to the workers by those conducting the experiments. Thus, they were motivated by the leadership of the researchers to perform better. McClelland, excuse me, guys. McClelland in 1961, motivation results from three dominant needs. Usually all three needs are present in each individual, but vary in importance depending on the position a person has in the workplace. So achievement, affiliation, and power are the three dominant needs that McClelland spoke about. Emotional intelligence. Got to talk about this one because, like I said, you move on, you're going to be seeing this one. It is one of the most recognizable leadership theories. In fact, like I said, you'll see this theory throughout your nursing education if you choose to advance, which I hope you all do. It recognizes and understands his or her own emotions. It welcomes constructive criticism. It asks for help when needed, able to juggle multiple demands and remain focused, turns problems into opportunities, listens very attentively to others, and recognizes unspoken concerns. It also acknowledges others' perspectives. It brings people together with respect, cooperation, and helpfulness. Okay, so situational theory. Not all situations require the same interventions. One particular approach may work well in a particular situation, but not in others. The key to successful situational theory leaders is to marry the readiness of the follower with the task at hand. The leader is charged with ensuring all duties and responsibilities are spelled out for the group or individual. This theory encourages leaders to consider many factors when deciding what action to take. The qualities: leaders are adaptable, they're theory focused, on task and on task with the follower. Behaviors range from telling, guiding, directing to delegating, observing, and monitoring. Okay, so now we're going to talk about transformational leadership theory. This is jumping off the situational theory into transformational theory. Situational is a good one, but to be a great leader, one must convey meaning, inspiration, and vision. Hence, they are a transformational leader. Think about Dr. King. Characteristics: they inspire meaning and a sense of mission. They communicate their vision. The follower feels led to share the leader's vision. They inspire commitment in others. The transformational leader is a very desirable one in today's leadership world. Did Dr. King not inspire many and continues even in death to inspire us with his vision? I feel like he does. I have a dream that one day my children will be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. This today comes down even stronger than probably what it did then. It's one that we need to grasp a hold of, that we need to hold to and keep close to us. We all choose nursing because we want to help others. It's a ministry that allows us to do good for others. So we, in a sense, are all transformational leaders. The nurse leader goes beyond that and helps other nurses to see how their work helps them achieve their vision. Moral leadership. Moral leadership is reflective of a leader who embodies honesty, fairness, and remains socially responsible under any circumstances that arise. I believe we all want to exhibit actions in patient care that embody these moral characteristics. We want to have integrity, responsibility, compassion, forgiveness. Those are all great characteristics associated with this leader. In addition, we want to exhibit a strong moral compass to do right in private life that bleeds over into our leadership role. Um, it's really hard to follow a leader, and I'm not saying I'm following any leaders like that, so don't get me wrong, but I think we've all probably had different leaders throughout our nursing career. Some of you have been LPNs for a short time, some of you have been LPNs for a while. And I'm sure those that have been LPNs for many, many years, like me, have encountered those that do not have that moral compass within them. They will stab you in the back in a heartbeat. And those are the hardest. Oh, they are so hard to follow because they're sweet to your face, but then, they're hugging you with a knife in your back. And so, it, we'll talk about some things that you can do to achieve what you want in nursing, and how that you can get in touch with a leader and be the type of leader that doesn't do these things. So caring leadership combines two different styles: the servant leader and the emotional intelligent leader. The characteristics: they respect others, they'll respect their coworkers as individuals. They'll listen to others' opinions and give consideration to those opinions. They maintain awareness of personal and other feelings. They empathize with others, and they're competent in leadership and clinical practice. It spans across the leadership theories. Caring leadership does. It takes all the best features to develop and hone leadership skills in an individual. This theory appealed to me through my master's. I actually wrote a huge paper on the caring theory and leadership and how it appeals to me as a nurse, because it deals not just with a team, but with the most important reason we're in a clinical setting, and that is the patient. So, distinctive styles of leadership matches up with all those theories that we just discussed. Adaptive, flexible, with an adaptive, style of leadership. You will need to be flexible, willing to change and devise new approaches. If you're emotionally intelligent, you need to be aware of your own and others' feelings. Charismatic, you have that magnetic personality. You attract people to follow you. Authentic, demonstrate integrity, character, and honesty in relating to others. Level 5, ferociously pursues goals but gives credit to others and takes responsibility for his or her mistakes. And then you're mindful. You're thoughtful, analytic, and open to new ideas. You can grasp all those distinctive styles of leadership and become a great leader in nursing. Now, narcissistic. We don't want to be narcissistic, because they don't listen to others and do not tolerate disagreement, but may have a compelling vision. No excuse, mentally tough, empathize, accountability, and decisiveness. I mean, that could be okay, but you probably need to use some emotional intelligence with that. Resonant, motivates others through energy and enthusiasm. A servant, you're empathetic, you're aware and healing. You lead to serve others. You're a storyteller. You use stories to convey messages in a memorable, motivating fashion. I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. Like it, don't like it, however it is. But I tell stories because, and especially in some leadership lectures, I have some great stories that go along with leadership that show you some of the good things and some of the bad things. Strength-based. Focuses and capitalizes on his or her own others' talent. And tribal, build a common culture with strong sharing of values and beliefs. Effective leadership qualities. You want to have integrity. Look at the ANA Code of Ethics. Courage. Sometimes leaders must take risk. We just have to. Sometimes I feel like that, like right here, right now, I'm taking a risk that I'm recording this lecture and I'm using my face here for you guys to see. And I'm hoping that y'all will listen. And I'm taking a risk and hoping that y'all will actually watch those videos that I wanted y'all to watch. Positive attitude, and I'm positively thinking about this. This goes a long way. What would you want to follow a whiner? If I whined, would you want to go with me to clinical? Probably not. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to be here. Yeah, that's terrible. Initiative, acting on good ideas. Energy, can you last for the long haul? We want somebody that's got energy. Self-awareness, understand yourself. Optimism, see problems as opportunities and not failures. Sometimes when you first have a problem, I know that this is the way that I am. When I first encounter a problem, I'm like, oh, I get that frustrated feeling. And then I'm like, no, 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 no. I've got to turn this around. We've got to make this better. Just because this failed doesn't mean that we can't do something else and improve upon it. Perseverance, again, kind of like the optimist. I don't want to give up. I had a student once that said, I just think about Dory and Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. And so I had to use her. Just keep swimming, keep persevering. Generosity, give of yourself and time freely. And balance, it's hard to do, but achieve balance in work, school, and personal life. I know I say that right now, and every single one of you are probably rolling your eyes and like, what? How in the world am I going to do that? And then the ability to handle stress. You need to learn how to cope when the stress levels build. Winner or whiner? I think we all probably know some winners and whiners in our lives. What are you? Do you predominantly look at problems as bad or insurmountable? Is your glass half full or half empty? A winner says, we have a real challenge here. The whiner says, this is really a problem. A winner says, I'll give it my best. A whiner says, do I have to? The winner says, that's great. And the whiner says, that's nice, I guess. The winner says, we can do it. And the whiner says, that will never succeed. A winner says yes, and a whiner says maybe or no. So behaviors of an effective leader. Leadership requires action. The effective leader chooses the action carefully. So behaviors, again, you're going to set priorities. You're going to think critically. You're going to solve the problems. You're going to respect and value the individuals. You're going to communicate a vision for the future, and you're going to develop yourself and others. With setting priorities, priorities are continually shifting. Have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and be prepared to change these priorities as the situation changes. It demands your attention. Use the 3 E's of prioritization. Evaluate, eliminate, and estimate. Evaluate what needs to be completed. Eliminate the tasks that others can do. Estimate how long your top priorities will take. When you think critically, I just want to know right now, I wish I had a show of hands. How many of you probably just went, ugh, because I said think critically? And that's probably what you think. Critical thinking, though, is essential. It is careful, it's deliberate, and it's analytical. Thinking critically is an act that we must extract our personal feelings from to make the best team decision. Be open to new and improved ideas. Solving problems. I think we can look at our world today and see clearly that nothing is perfect. Problems arise. We do not live in a perfect world, and we are not perfect people. I don't care how much we try to be. We are not. The problem-solving behavior helps the leader to mitigate a solution as it rises. You want to mitigate before it actually comes up. The leader identifies the problems, or the leader identifies problems that could potentially happen. They work through those problems. They think, or they start thinking about those problems that could arise and what they could do to fix them. They seek resolutions continually. Respecting and valuing individuals. In my mind, this behavior is not just lip service. I respect you or I value you means nothing, absolutely nothing, if the leader does not show this vital behavior. Respect and value is exhibited in how we treat and respond to others. Sorry, guys, you can't just say, oh, well, I respect each individual. I do. I respect. No, you have to show it. You have to show it, and you have to show how much those other people, how much you value them. Because actions speak louder than words. If you're rolling your eyes because you don't like what's being said, you're not respecting. You're not valuing what the other person is saying, which we're going to talk about listening skills next. But that's what this is kind of leading into that. Recognize everyone is different from our head to our toes, inside to outside. However, everyone desires to feel those behaviors from others. I mean, we all want to know that we're valued. We all want to know that we're respected. Our differences make us all unique, and everyone brings something to the table that others can learn from. Skillful communication. When you're valuing others and respecting others, then you're listening to them. Listen to them. Separate from talking, listening is a behavior that not only gives, it receives information. Encourage an exchange of information. Make sure as a leader all communication channels are open. Open those ears, please. It can't be one-sided conversation because all voices offer something for others to hear. You also need to, at times, provide feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Feedback is essential. How can your followers improve if you don't communicate with them about their performance? If we're in clinical and you've done something that, I don't want to say something that's wrong, but something that I feel like you could improve upon. If I don't communicate with that with you and help you to become a better nurse by doing such and such, then I've failed you. I haven't provided the feedback that was necessary to give you the tools to be a stronger and better nurse. I like to know if I'm doing a good job or a bad job. Negative feedback should be delivered in a constructive way that leads to a very positive resolution. I don't like to provide negative feedback. I don't. Even when I'm doing paperwork, I don't use a red pen unless that's all I have. But I will find a black pen if I have, that's all I have. And I will make sure that the feedback that I give you on your paperwork helps you so that you can improve upon it. I want to make it constructive. I want to give you a learning opportunity so that you can improve and think, have a little bit more critical thinking in your role as an RN. Communicating a vision for the future. Effective leaders have a vision for the future. For others to follow your vision, you must communicate it effectively to the team. Get the team involved in creating that vision. Just like listening, a leader should encourage the group to add to that vision. What do you have? What do you? I did I implemented something in clinical a few years ago, where I decided to put my students with an RN to work with. Um, I said, you're going to work with that RN from the beginning of the shift to the end of the shift, and you're going to do everything he or she does. When they go in the patient's room, you're going to go in the patient's room. You're going to follow them for all their patients. You're going to ask questions. You're going to learn. So I had this vision in my mind of my students doing this clinic. I called it the clinical immersion, and you probably will see it again because I use it now just about every year. But it is a clinical role immersion activity is what I call it. And it's for leadership. It's so that you can learn the delegation skills. You can, not that I want you delegating, but you can see the role of the RN and what they do in the critical care setting, how they care for the patient. Ask pertinent questions. So I had this vision, and whenever I did it, the first group of students that I had that we did this, when we did post conference, I sat down and I said, okay, so tell me what worked and what didn't work. And from what worked and what didn't work, I rearranged and did things differently. So that's how you get a team involved. I consider my nursing students when I'm in clinical my team. So we're going to work together as a team to achieve a common goal, and that is for the patient to be cared for, but B, for you to learn as much as you can in the role of the RN. If the group invests in the vision with the leader, then whatever was envisioned will likely have a greater success. And I felt like that my role immersion activity had a pretty good success rate. Developing yourself and others. Does learning stop when you exit from a nursing program? No, it doesn't. You need to walk into your place of employment with an attitude of learning each day. I tell you, if you go into work and you say, I got this, it's good, I'm all good, I got it, then guess what? That's the first day that you make a mistake. So if you go in humbly, just be a humble person every day and think every day that I'm going to learn something new that's going to help me to develop myself, to be a better nurse, be another better team member, be a better leader. School is not the end. Professional development is part of everyone's performance evaluations and is required by the Arkansas State Board of Nursing for your continued licensure. So you need to also share your knowledge with others. I've had so many students in the past who have felt disheartened when they graduated. They really have. But I don't know everything. How can I take care of patients? I don't know what I'm doing. Learning continues. As a leader, you must realize this fact, and I think that probably all of y'all do, but you do feel sometimes a little intimidated when you go into the clinical setting and you're learning new skills. Okay, so followership. Remember I talked about the crazy dancing guy? I hope that you will please watch that video. It's pretty funny in the first place, but it really it explains it in under 3 minutes, and it's a great clip to watch. I wish I could have put it in this recording, but um, I try to be computer savvy, but maybe I'm just not computer savvy enough. So followership is different from leadership. It's separate rather from leadership. It's a passive role. It's a valuable role. Followers who add value to the team are skilled, they're self-directed, they're professional, they're an active participant in getting the team to the end destination. They also are an investor of time and energy. They're critical thinkers and an advocate for the leader's innovative new ideas. On our student learning outcomes, remember, I have that. It's like under 3 minutes, so try to watch it. I think that you will enjoy it. Becoming a better follower, you have problem discovery. You inform the team leader or manager right away if there is a problem. You include a suggestion for solving that problem. You freely invest your interest and energy in your work. You're supportive of new ideas and new directions. Explain why you may be disagreeing about a solution. Be an active listener, guys. Continually learn, and finally, just share your knowledge. Managing up. This is defined as a process of consciously working with your boss to obtain the best possible results for you, your leader, and your organization. How is this accomplished? Show positivity. Be a positive person. Your team leader and nurse manager respond to this attitude. What if your positivity is met with a roadblock from poor leadership? What do you do if you have a poor leader? How should you respond to their ability to irritate, frustrate, distress, or confuse you? I think we all have had those leaders. On the next slide, we're going to talk about some of that. A good follower will recognize that no one is perfect. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and your team leader manager is no different. Show appreciation in all things. Be respectful. I try to always let others around me know I appreciate and respect them. It's not just words, it's actions. But still, you sometimes have those leaders that they're going to stomp all over your positivity. And they're going to, let's just face it, I'm being real here. They're going to be like that. So let's discuss what we need to do. Your response does matter. You are showing positivity and want to move up in your role, so you should avoid taking on those ineffective behaviors exhibited by the team leader. So the team leader who's been smashing you down the whole time, don't take on those attributes. They're not good. Do the best work you can do, and don't be and be a contributing member. So you need to make sure you still contribute. If you encounter a situation that does not get better, then get some support from team members. Look for a positive resolution. And if it becomes intolerable, transfer to another team. In some situations, your desire to manage up, become a team leader, be a great follower who is also a leader, is met with adversity. It's nothing that we can do. It just is. We have those bullies in every situation, don't we? We had them in school. We have them in the workplace. It's like they graduated with us and followed us. Of course they did. They didn't ever learn to grow up and be nice to people. Um, do not allow yourself to stay in a place or situation that suppresses you, though, because it won't only affect you, it'll affect your team members, it'll affect the patients, and it'll filter home to your family. Um, I do have a story that I'll probably share later on in another lecture, because it does talk about horizontal violence. And it occurred to me whenever I first graduated. I'm just going to kind of touch on it here, but I'm going to talk bigger about it in our healthy work environment lecture. So, if you're faced with a bully, those who just want to, like I said, hold you down, if no matter what you do, and you've tried all of these attributes, I want to point here on the screen here, all these attributes, all these great things, you avoided taking on those ineffective behaviors, you do your best work, but it still is not good enough. Then if there's no way that you can fix this situation for your health, I need you to move. I need you to go somewhere where you're not beat down constantly. That's not healthy, and it's not good for the team, the patients, you, or your family members. I ended up doing that because of the horizontal violence I incurred when I first graduated. I cried every single day, whether I had to be at work or not. I worked in CVICU. I loved it, but my preceptor was horrid. And so whether I had to be at work or not, I cried. And finally my husband was like, I can't take it. You got to get out of there. And so I did, and I moved on. I moved on to better and greater things. But we're going to talk more about that in a later lecture. Effective nurse, effective leader. Successful nurses and leaders never stop learning, and they never stop growing. They keep moving, they keep it going. We need you to be the leader for your patients, for families, for the other nurses. I always liken new nurses, and this is where I'm going to throw some of that ministry in here. Anybody know about the parable of the wise man who built his house on the rock and the foolish man who built his house on the sand? Well, of course, sand is shifting. So shifting sand, the house is going to collapse. What we're providing for you guys here is a foundation. It's just, that's what it is. It's a foundation for you to build on. So here's your foundation. We're never going to be able to teach you everything that you need to know about nursing. It's not going to happen. So when you graduate and you get out there and you start working, you're going to be able to take this foundation and you're going to build on it. Okay? Pretty soon you're going to start building up your walls. You're going to get the walls built up. Then you're going to get a roof built on it. And then you're going to get it in the dry. And when you get it in the dry, it's kind of when you know that you've started really progressing. Okay? So everything's done. You've got the sheetrock on the walls, and then you can start painting the walls your colors. I know that this is quite an example here, but this is what I get to. After you've had your foundation from us and then built all of these walls and your roof and you're painted, you can start decorating the inside of your house. You know what I decorate the inside of my house with? I decorate the inside of my virtual house here with pictures of students. I have pictures of patients that I learned from. I have a picture of a patient when I was a student who's hanging on my virtual wall. I see him to this day. I went in, I was doing the med surge, and I was listening to bowel sounds, and I heard those high tinkling bowel sounds. We had just learned about it in class. And so I went out and I told my nursing instructor, and I said, I heard this. And she came in and listened with me, and she said, yeah, you did. I need you to go talk to your nurse. So I did. The next day when we came back to clinical, I found out that nothing was done, and he ruptured and was in ICU, but he's still a picture hanging on my wall because I learned something very valuable from him. I've learned something very valuable from many of my patients and many of my students, so that's what hangs on my wall. And then you just don't stop adding to it. Maybe you then rent out the bottom floor. You know, build a second floor, rent out the bottom floor, become a landlord, that leader or that manager. I mean, you look after others as an effective leader, you be a cheerleader, um, and you're okay that change must occur, and you help others that as they need to change in the healthcare setting. That's the end of your lecture. It is under an hour because we're not in a classroom, so I probably talked a little bit faster. I do hope that you listen to it. I do hope you enjoy it. I do really hope that you watch those three things that I put up for you. It's really it would be really important for you to watch those. They're very one of them is especially very inspirational. Hopefully I'll see y'all at some point in the classroom. Y'all have a great day.